Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And always love bringing you up-to-date information. The best way to do that in Thibodaux is to go to the mayor. Mayor Kevin Claymont. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Keith,
man.
thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here once again.
I appreciate it. Look, man, we getting into the summer, got lots of things going on. Let's talk about some of the things happening in Thibodaux.
Thibodaux. Can't start Thibodaux without the roundabout.
All right.
There's a roundabout at the corner of Gerald T. Pelche and North and South Canal Boulevard.
Yep.
It's a 300-day project, so it's
Right.
going to be here for a little while.
Right.
We started it probably about a month ago with the initial phase. I think the 300-day countdown started last week.
Okay.
They're identifying gas lines and water lines and sewer lines right now. That's a whole process in itself. So you're seeing rerouting of traffic now. You're seeing a whole bunch of orange cones and flagmen and women slowing down traffic. It's going to be here a while.
Right.
It's important to know that it's not a luxury to have a roundabout. It's a necessity nowadays.
Right.
This process for this particular roundabout started 12 years ago. The Department of Transportation for Louisiana identified that particular intersection or come together because it's got 8 different
Right.
ways that you can get into there. They identified that as a safety concern, and these roundabouts work. They might be a pain in the
Right.
to facilitate the installation of them, but they work and they keep traffic moving. The one thing about the Louisiana Department of Transportation, they don't want traffic at a standstill. They want it to continually move. It's really remarkable in the design of it, and it's going to be phased in over these next year and a half maybe. But it's going to work, and it's going to be really nice when it's all complete. It'll be a stable and a cornerstone of that particular part of town.
Well, and they do work, and we know they work. Y'all went out and did some investigation, right? Y'all went and kind of
Absolutely.
saw some roundabouts in different areas. Right?
Absolutely. I just got back from a trip from Missouri.
Okay.
Every intersection off and on to the interstate is a roundabout. You go to Lafayette, you go on the other side of Houma, roundabouts.
Right.
So they work. There's a reason that the Department of Transportation has invested in them and believe in them. And I think when it's all said and done, it'll be a pleasurable experience and much safer for our citizens.
One of the things I got a chance, I got to tell you, early on, 10, 12 years ago, when there was talk of it, when they started building the one over in West Houma, I thought, my gosh, I even talked to HPD, Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office, and State Police that, man, we're going to see some wrecks. And they said, no, you won't.
Yeah.
They said, it's really interesting. People, because of good signage,
Sure.
and as soon as they know where to be, what lane to be in, it's so much safer.
Yeah.
I just anticipated there would be so many wrecks. There weren't.
No, there weren't. And once people get the hang of it and people see other people, I mean, you learn, right? You learn
Right.
by watching. Once you get the feel of it, most people are gonna know what to do and when to do it.
And acclimate to that.
Absolutely.
And so thank you, Jason. That's a really good shot right there. That is the Acadian Roundabout.
Yes.
At LA 20. It's going to be in Canal Boulevard.
So on the bottom of your screen is how you'd get to and from Houma. Top
Right.
of your screen would be to go to and from North Thibodaux or Chack Bay. Gerald T. Pelche Drive to the right would have access to get to Thibodaux Regional Health Systems.
Right.
So there, you could see, I'm counting them real quick. There's 10 in and outs of that roundabout. Now it's going to be huge.
Yes. Yes.
From everything that I've seen, the plans, the top of that center circle is going to be 6 to 7 feet high. So it's not like you can just drive straight through this one. Like, the one at the roundabout on Nichols campus,
Right.
some people just literally go over it because
Right.
it's only at an elevation of about 6 to 8 inches.
Right.
You're not going to be able
You're
to do
not
that
going
with
over this
this.
one.
Yeah. And we've had architects and we've had citizens, hey, how about putting a statue in the middle of it or a water element there? That might be something we look at doing later on down the road.
Right.
But for right now, it's going to be a huge mound, and there'll be bricks around it. It'll be a centerpiece.
I love it. And it's going to make things so much easier. You and I drive that. You drive it all the time. I drive it several times a week.
Yeah.
And it truly, there's so many different ins and outs, like
Yeah.
you said. So many different people going to different places, and we still can't get people to stop coming off of Pelche to try to jump across and get onto Jackson.
Yeah.
And so it's just going to be much safer. But some of the things that we've seen, and Jason, I appreciate you putting this up, it lets us know some of the options. We see this They started in even the periphery, all the way around Lafayette.
Yeah.
I went to my nephew's house, and he lives kind of in the southwestern part of Lafayette. We went through 3 roundabouts on the way to his house.
Yeah.
And every bit of there was a lot of traffic. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon around Lafayette.
Yeah.
Traffic flowed beautifully.
Yeah, and hopefully this is an easier access for 18-wheelers. If you look
Okay.
at that, the way 18 large trucks come from South Canal and they actually have to be diverted onto Jackson.
Right.
They actually sometimes come to a standstill. That's a big no-no for Louisiana Department of Transportation. So this will allow easy access. It'll be much the signage will be much improved, and it'll just have an easier road for them to travel.
Yeah, and look, we cannot get away. We cannot avoid those larger 18-wheelers, those larger vehicles, because that's helping keep our commerce up. That's helping.
Absolutely.
We got to get things distributed downtown.
Absolutely.
And Jackson is the way to be able to do that. But it would be nice for them to be able to come off of Canal or Jackson.
Yeah.
This roundabout is going to make that better.
Absolutely.
The one thing that we ask people to do, again, there's another schematic of what it looks like. Kevin described it very well. The one at the bottom is coming from Houma. The one to the right is going on Pelche to Acadia, which is going to be where Terrebonne General Health System is. The one on top is going towards Chack Bay. That's North Canal on the way to everything that's in North Thibodaux, and the one on the left is going towards Jackson.
Yep.
And so, great description. We ask people to be patient.
Sure.
Progress takes a little bit.
Absolutely.
But it's gonna move forward.
And as it gets closer and closer, you'll get more communications, more instructions on how to work that roundabout, and it'll be there.
Navigate.
Yeah.
We're talking about this roundabout, and we have been. We're going to ask people to just be patient with the progress.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's the only way we can move forward. But again, it's going to be so much better.
Absolutely.
It's going to make it easier to get everywhere.
Yep. It will.
Even people going to Nichols.
Yeah.
And lately, we've had a lot of people at Nichols. Let's talk a little bit about this 4-day lineman camp that is one of the largest, if not the largest, in the country.
Yeah, I think it's renowned for being the best lineman camp in the country. They had, I know this. I read this recently. They had 675 players there this year. Wow. They represented 125 different schools. They represented 10 states. When you think about it, 10 different states. Now, you draw a little circle around Louisiana to get 10 states. That's a pretty large circle, right?
Yeah.
Overall, they had 50 to 60 coaches and instructors there. Some of the stuff they do, you could see it as training and as coordination and as technique on the field. But what you don't see is you see the camaraderie that they develop in the dorm rooms.
Right.
You see the film sessions that they have at night when it's supposed to be their downtime. They're constantly learning. And what you see right there, you see a field in front of Nichols campus that is just littered with monsters of young men, right? trying to hone in their craft for football. It's the greatest thing. Not only do you see these guys on the field, but the activity around campus, it just heats up. I'm fortunate enough to live about 6 or 7 blocks from campus.
Right.
There's more cars, there's more vehicle traffic, there's more people walking on our pathways. It's remarkable that we have this right here in Thibodaux, and it's truly a blessing for our community and our school.
I can tell you, I've heard Mike Detillier talk in detail about some of the things that people have learned. He said that he follows college players, that a lot of the things that they learned there at that particular lineman camp has been invaluable for them in their career.
Absolutely. So I know this year there were 10 NFL players that gave their time to come to this.
Wow.
There was actually Kevin Mawai, who's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
An NFL Hall of Famer. He was there. I saw some of the pictures and some of the quotes that players were saying. Just to be around people like that, right? And you gather their knowledge. You watch how they do interviews. These kids, it's really remarkable. In Thibodaux, 675 offensive and defensive linemen come to practice.
And they're learning so much more than just
Yeah.
O-line and D-line
Absolutely.
skills.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
We talk about that in the analogy of sports, what it did for you and I.
Yeah.
Long-time relationships
Absolutely.
through sports.
Absolutely.
And respect for each other. But to get to meet some of these people,
Oh, man.
some of their heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And just huge difference.
Yep.
In fact, I'm reminded as we're kind of in this time of enjoying LSU baseball of Paul Skeens, one of his first college pitching opportunity was against Dylan Cruz.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they played on different schools.
Yeah.
And Dylan hit a home run.
There you go. Remarkable, right?
And they never forgot that. Like
Yeah.
it's something that connected them, and then they get to play again later, right? On the
lifelong,
same team.
lifelong friendships.
Right?
Lifelong
And so
friendships.
that's what's going to happen for a lot of these
Absolutely.
kids.
Yep.
You know, the monsters of men. What a great description of that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we see a lot of the younger people, 18, 19, 20-year-olds on campus during school at Nichols. And so you transition just a few weeks later to this lineman camp where you see these huge people coming 10 states.
10 states. Really remarkable.
Yeah.
Now you transition that to what's getting ready to happen tomorrow with the Manning Passing Academy. You're going to have over 1,150 to some estimates 1,200 kids coming in from a lot more than 10 states.
Yes.
You're going to have over 100 coaches. You're going to have over 75 college quarterbacks that are on hand to actually instruct and be part of these kids' experience. That is just a remarkable stat. You said something earlier that every dorm room is full of capacity. We can't fit any more. Just think about this. You get 1,200 kids in here. You get 2,400 parents. You're going to get another 1,200 siblings and kids running around our town.
At least.
They're staying in our hotels, Houma as well as Thibodaux, as well as New Orleans.
Yep.
They're buying our food.
Right.
They're adding excitement into the community, right? They're trying to experience as much culture as they can get from South Louisiana. They're buying our gas. They're being part of something that's really special. We're tickled pink to have it. There's an estimate, and Henry Lafont put this out. It might have been Vic Lafont that put this out several years ago. It adds a value. That one camp adds a value of about $2.5 million to our surrounding communities each year. So when we signed a 6-year agreement with the Manning Passing Academy, I think we signed that last year. I think Dr. Clune had told me. You're looking at a $14 to $15 million impact to our surrounding areas. Quite remarkable. It really is.
Well, and again, we talk about what that means for us, and then we're going to spend some time in our next segment as well talking about what it means for those people coming in. But they get to experience this Nichols experience, which translates to the Thibodaux experience.
Absolutely. You know, and people forget, you know, we're trying to get more kids into Nichols State University. A study came out during the week. Nichols is the 13th ranked lowest tuition cost for universities our size in the country. 13th. We're the 13th lowest cost efficiency in our country. So you're not only exposing these kids to professional football players and a good probably weekend worth of work, but you're exposing them to our university. You're exposing them to our town. I can't tell you how many conversations we're going to have tomorrow and Friday just from the city of Thibodaux's perspective on you know, how happy we are to have you there. And my administration team does a great job in relishing in this time for us to invite people back to our community, because everybody just wants to feel part of things. That's all people really want.
They get put on by Nichols, but they're about partnerships.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. The Manning camps have been here for a while now, but kids come from so many different places. I know a bunch of people from Texas that have come. Imagine you and I'm not going to say how many years ago, but we're a junior or senior in high school. And we get the opportunity, the option to go to Thibodaux, to Nichols State University, to get introduced to some 50 or 60 college quarterbacks.
College quarterbacks, and let's not forget we're throwing in Archie Manning in there.
Archie Manning,
Peyton Manning. Eli Manning, right? And if you ever been to any of those aired out, Cooper steals the show.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh yeah, Cooper steals the show.
He's got the best personality in the family.
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely. So yeah, to be exposed to something like that and just to be part of it. I mean, I would have given anything at 16, 17 years old to shake 4 or 5 Heisman Trophy winners or hands. Think about that, right? Get an autographed football signed by Archie Manning and Peyton Manning. That's you know. It's unheard of, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is. And so and you know, and people talk about all the town, this little town, but Thibodaux's so much bigger than what the parameters of the city and the parish of Lafourche are.
Absolutely. And you feel it swell up. Right about tomorrow at this time, you'll see, you think the traffic is bad at 5 o'clock on a regular day.
Right.
At 5 o'clock on Canal Boulevard or on a LA1 in front of the campus, it'll be bad.
Right.
But you know,
in a good way.
It's in a great way. But we have avenues for those people. We have things to do. You know, we're kind of excited. We're going to be building a couple of pavilions downtown that's going to just enhance that experience more.
Okay.
The L'Oreal Foundation has given us a large sum of money. We're going to be building a small pavilion by that new boat dock. That's gonna be
Right there on the
exactly
bayou?
it's gonna be exactly like what they built in front of Nichols. That's gonna enhance it. With the help of our legislators, Tanner McGee and Brian Fontenot, we were able to secure $250,000 to build a stage pavilion downtown, right across from LA1, right on the Bayou side. Just have functions there that people won't have to pay $3,500 to rent a stage to have it. It'll be built in. It'll have all the power and all the luxuries of everything that we wanted in there. So it's a known fact that on Saturday night, all these guys and girls that come in for our camp, they go downtown to our little bars and our little restaurants down there. It'll have a nice little meeting place in the future. Hopefully within next year, it'll have something else for them to do because, you're hosting 1,200 people. You're hosting a lot more that don't have anything to do. And,
Right.
and you can only go on so many swamp tours and see so many historical figures, right? You need something to do. You need to be able to walk around. You need to go grab a quick lunch, go inside for a nice cold water.
Right.
So yeah, we're working on it, and it's going to evolve into something really good.
It's what Thibodaux does. They try to enhance the experience for everybody coming in.
Yeah.
And it's the other thing I want to kind of go back to. One of the things that worked to my advantage, being left-handed. Being a left-handed athlete is a little different. And so one of the things that's exciting is that some of these kids, and going back to what their experience is going to be like, they're going to be able to see some coaches and some college quarterbacks who can share with them what it's like being a little different, a little unique, left-handed.
Absolutely. We talk about the quarterbacks and all there, but there's also a whole group of tight ends, whole group of running backs and wide receivers that get to catch a pass from Eli Manning. They get to catch a pass from the Joe Burrows and the Bryces from Alabama. They get to do that. That just enhances everything about their experience. And you'll walk around that campus on Friday and Saturday, and those moms and dads, that's all they want. They want their kids to enjoy it and have a great time. The Mannings do things the right way,
Yes,
right?
they do.
And,
Yes,
and,
they do.
and in 2005, when they came here, Nichols put on a good show. But the show that they put on now in 2023 is remarkable. It's almost to a professional level every single opportunity they get, from the interviews that they do, from the school books, the meetings that they hold in the stadiums. It's remarkable. You can get 1,200 people to sit there and be still and be quiet and listen to a couple of inspirational speakers, because it's not just an athletic experience, it's a mind experience also.
Right. And it's that totality of what they can experience, creating men and women, quite frankly, because it affects so many people who are going to be better. Right.
Absolutely.
That holistic experience.
Absolutely.
And so that's just a couple of the things happening. Again, just finished with that lineman camp, starting with the Manning camp. And you got some other really good things coming. We got that the Let Freedom Ring July 4th event coming up. Excited about that.
Yeah.
But that's just another example of how Thibodaux really allows for such a wonderful experience.
Yeah, July 4th is going to be good. It's going to be in the morning. They have a breakfast that our Councilman Gene Reshort kind of heads up for all the veterans and first responders. That'll be in the morning. In the afternoon, they'll do that program.
Right.
On Sunday, we had a program that was started by Quincy and Trey Wagner,
Right.
Juneteenth celebration. Both
Right.
of those guys work for the city. They put on a fabulous show for our community as a whole. We were lucky enough to attend. They invited us. We were lucky enough to attend and see just the community come together. And that's all, I said it before. People want to belong. They want to be part of something, and they want to be part of something positive. There's so much negativity in our world today. When you have great things like a Juneteenth festival or July 4th festival or offensive lineman camp, Manning Passing Academy, it just enhances your relationships with everybody in the community.
And everybody remembers that.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
making an impact lasting. Kevin, thanks for coming to give us some updates on Thibodaux. Always some wonderful things going on. You're doing a great job.
Thank
so
you, sir.
congratulations again being new mayor,
Appreciate
but also all the good things happening.
Appreciate you, Keith.
You got it.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular edition of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.